Hello, welcome back. Okay, so I was listening to one of my friends' podcasts the other day, and she was talking about allowing people to know you at your beginning. And I feel like this is something I really struggled with. So I just wanted to open up and have conversation about it here because I think a lot of times we start our businesses or we start doing something different and we're really afraid of, well, I'm not making the money that I want to make right now, or I'm not sure how this is going to go. And so we don't share it with the people who probably would like to share it with, right? And again, I am very careful with who I share what I'm doing with, simply because sometimes they let their fear get in their way, especially when it comes to family or friends. And they're usually like, "Are you sure that you want to be doing that?" And then it kind of shuts us down. But when it comes to this, when it comes to allowing people to see you at your beginning, how cool is it when you follow somebody and you've been with them since the beginning of their journey? Like, let's just say there's an influencer, maybe a coach that you follow, and you have really been watching them from their beginning. And then suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, their business took off, or they exploded, or they started making all this money and now they're sharing about it. And it's like, you got to watch that whole journey from the very beginning. And there is so much power in that. And I think so much power that I didn't realize, because now I've hit the point where my podcast has over 10,000 downloads, and I'm really excited about that. But I also recognize where I was really scared to share just my first 100 downloads or my first 500 downloads. And oh my gosh, looking back now, that is something to celebrate. 100 people downloaded an episode. And so I just want you to recognize the power in allowing people to see you at your beginning, to see you when you're not sure if it's going to work, because that's where the support comes in. And what's really cool is I'm in this mastermind group right now, and it's not like a typical business mastermind. It is more of a life journey mastermind, stepping into our most powerful self type mastermind. And even seeing the women in there who went from really struggling to accept support and celebration from other women to now wholeheartedly loving it has been so incredible to watch. And I was one of those people. It's really hard to accept support from somebody else, to accept a compliment. Think about that. When you are accepting a compliment, do you kind of deflect it and be like, "Oh, thanks. I love your hair too," or "I love your dress too. Where did you get that?" And you try to take the attention off of you. I feel like we do this a lot, but I just want you to see the power in allowing people to see you at the beginning of that. As you have decided, okay, here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to make a shift here. I'm going to do something different. Don't wait until you have the 10,000 downloads on your podcast episode to celebrate that publicly or to share it with a friend. Be really proud of yourself along the way, because if not, you will continue this same pattern. This is like a pattern of behavior, and it's just going to continue. And so I want you to really think about celebrating and allowing people to see you where you're at. You do not have to be making a certain amount of money to be a coach. What are the circumstances that you have gotten yourself out of? Where have you shifted your life? For me, I'll be honest, I struggled to put myself out there. As soon as I announced I was coaching, yes, I got a few clients right away, but then I kept feeling almost like an imposter. And who am I to be coaching? Yes, I've been through these situations that I'm coaching these women on and just helping them gain new insight into themselves so that they can shift. But I was also battling with my own imposter syndrome of, I don't have any certifications and I just didn't feel good enough. And Now that has all shifted because I have been through so much, especially in the past year and a half. Like, it has been rough and I don't want to rewind. But then I got my breathwork certification, and oh my gosh, how amazing. And in that program, the first 3 months are spent with us being the student. We had to get led by other mentors in breathwork so many times each week. We had modules to watch, we had coaching calls every week, and we had pod calls every other week. Like, through this whole thing, we had to fill out integration forms of like how we're utilizing this in our lives. And in January, we did something that was called the Force. That's where we learn to be a facilitator, and then we have to go out and facilitate over 60 hours of breathwork sessions. So, talk about letting people see you at the beginning. We just learned this new skill. We've been doing it for 3 months, and now we get to go out and be the facilitator for other people for 3 months. And it was so powerful to allow myself to be vulnerable and to say, hey, I'm probably not perfect at this, but will you trust me to guide you on a journey? And how many people said yes? I got over 70 hours in my practicum, and it was the most amazing experience. And I walked away with my certification feeling so confident in my breathwork skills, feeling like, yes, I can guide you through. It was a trauma informed certification, which I really loved simply because a lot of us have trauma. Probably 99.99% of the population has some form of trauma, whether it be big T or little t. And allowing myself to let people know me as a breathwork facilitator at the beginning, to breathe hundreds of people, and then step in to being a facilitator was a really cool shift for me. It has now made me unafraid of allowing people to see me at my beginning, and I want that for you. Like, I want you to be able to have that shift, that it is okay if you are just starting. It is okay if you don't even have a download on your podcast yet. It is okay if you're coaching your first coaching client right now and you don't know if you're doing a good job or not. Or maybe they're telling you that you're doing a great job and you're having those questions in your head of like, but am I? Am I really? That imposter syndrome that creeps in. The more you allow yourself to keep going, the better you're going to feel. And how cool is it that you are going to have a tribe of people by your side throughout the whole journey from the very beginning? Not everybody, and that's okay, right? We're going to have people who love us, we're going to have people who hate us. Like, that's just the nature of the game. But how amazing when you just open yourself up to being seen when you're not feeling like you want to be seen. It is so, so powerful for you. So, my challenge to you this week is to allow yourself to open up and be seen and share your small wins, because no win is small. The baby steps along the way is what gets you to those big results. So, I want you to celebrate that and just allow people to know you at your beginning. And I will talk to you next time.